The other day we had a little bit of a cash day. So we took the ST and the Audi. So what we did with the ST was, because it is front wheel drive, we took the rear wheels and put them in the front and the fronts in the back, just because it has more grip. So after we did this, we thought it's a perfect time to inspect everything, to inspect the brakes, inspect the suspension, the bushings and everything there is, just to find out that the rear brakes on the car is done for. So in this video, I'm going to take you guys through step by step how to change the rear brakes on the Fiesta ST. So before we just jump into changing the brakes, I just want to show you guys quickly what I'm using to change them. So this kit over here is actually a kit I had to go and buy for this. If we close it up, this is a 18-piece positive and negative caliper wind back kit. So this kit is unlike the front brakes where you gotta compress it with a G-clamp. This kit actually presses the caliper piston back by rotating it. Don't worry, I'm going to show you guys how it works. If we go over to the left, here we have got a flat. This is actually just my pry bar for this video. It works perfect though. Here we've got a ratchet with a 10 socket. Here we have got a 13 spanner, and also this part over here I'm also going to use, it's a 13. It just makes life sometimes easier. Also I forgot to add my, I think it's a 14 or 15 spanner. I think it's a 15 spanner. I forgot to add it here. Right over here we have got some Loctite. And over here we got some new screws with the brakes. So you guys are wondering why is there only two? It's because I've already changed the brakes on the one side. So these are obviously the old brakes, it's done for, and these are the new brakes. So we're gonna use those screws to obviously with the new brake pads. So I did get myself these Loctite. I'm not gonna use it on these bolts. I actually removed more bolts previously, but it's always good to have some extra Loctite. Then over here we have got our wheel spanner and obviously a cleaning rag just to clean things up a little bit. To avoid this video not to be too long, I've already took the liberty of jacking the car up and loosen the wheel bolts to be able to just take the wheel off. So just to give you guys a quick word of advice, you loosen the wheel nuts when the car is off of the jacks, when it's still on the floor, then you jack the car up and then you remove the wheel. So this is where the fun part starts. So I just quickly want to show you guys that there is basically two ways you can remove the brake caliper. So this is the caliper bracket and this is the caliper over here. So you can actually remove right here at the back bolt number 1 and bolt number 2, or what you can do is right over here there is another bolt. Both of them are 13. So basically when you remove this bolt over here and this bolt over here, the caliper comes off. When you remove the one here at the back, which will actually allow your brake caliper with the bracket to tilt over, which nothing is wrong with both of the ways. You can do both of them. Just know that if you do loosen the one at the top, you have to take the bolt out, and then there's another one here at the bottom at the same place. You actually just got to loosen it, so it just got that swing around. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna remove the caliper just because I find it a little bit easier. This is gonna be difficult to try and do everything with one hand. So right over here we've got a 15 spanner, which we are gonna lock right in over there, and we are gonna use our 13. And the reason why I like this one is because it's much longer. To give you an idea, I don't actually have the 13 here, but you can see it's even longer than the 15. It just gives that extra bit of leverage. You're gonna place it here at the back. So this is where you're gonna have to loosen the one and tighten the other one for it to break free. So before we do anything here, step number 1 is to obviously go and drop your handbrake. So basically by dropping it, it allows the brakes to open. When the handbrake is pulled up, the brakes compresses against the disc. So this over here is your brake line. It's tightened down by a 10mm screw. So we're gonna loosen this. The reason for that is because this brake line actually needs to give us some room to remove our caliper. So obviously we can cable tie the caliper to something, but because we do have our handbrake line over here, it has got more than enough support. So now that the caliper is loose, we're just gonna do some basic inspections. So over here there's a shaft, it must move freely at the top and here at the bottom. So also another thing you want to do is this area is where the brake sits on, so it actually moves back and forth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go and clean all of them. So you got one over here, one on the other side, and two at the top. We are gonna use this tool now to actually just go and wind the piston back. So right over here we are gonna use a point called F. So right over here in the caliper we are actually just gonna slot it in, and once it connects in we are gonna turn it. So as you can see now, the piston over here is retracted all the way. You can see the rubber over here is against the lip. To give you guys an idea, when you are turning it, make sure you are pressing it in while turning it. It's just gonna make it so much easier. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna place the brakes in here. There goes the back one. And here goes the front one. Okay, so now we're just gonna slide it over carefully. Also do note please, these shafts here at the back, you gotta compress them when pressing it in. So we are basically done. There is just something I want to show you guys, just so that you know it is normal. So obviously as we are turning the wheel, well, the wheel nut, the wheel will actually turn. So one thing you have got to do is you've got to pull the handbrake up. So you can either stomp a bit on the brake or you can pull the handbrake up. But look what happens when I pull the handbrake up. It goes up very, very easy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull it up 2 or 3 times. It might still even be that the wheel will still turn. Nope. There we go. Oh, it's still turning. That means we gotta drop it one more time. Alright, so I pulled it up a few more times until it got stiff. Let's try it out now. the wheel is literally not going anywhere. So the reason for that is when you're actually compressing the piston back, it creates enough space for the brake. So now between the brakes and the brake piston at the back, there is going to be some room. So by actually pulling your handbrake up and down a few times, it will actually compress the piston against the brake and get to that point where it is now, where it will actually lock when you pull up the handbrake. So this video might have been very quick and very dirty, but that is an easy way, which is kind of easy but also very difficult to get that piston back. You've got to use a lot of force to actually press it back and turn it. It's the most effective way than just turning it. So after you have done that, which is the worst, it's actually a very quick thing. So I do hope that this video helped everyone out. If you've got any questions, do let me know. I'll be more than willing to help you guys. Once again, for that kit, I'm going to see if I can find a link for it online somewhere where you can purchase it from, or just give you an idea of what you're looking for, and then obviously you can go and get one at your local hardware shop or something from that. Anyway, I'm going to drop this video over here. Thank you so much for watching.